Okay, so ChatGPT, right. It's everywhere you turn these days. Everyone's talking about this AI, but what's all the fuss about?
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into your research on ChatGPT. We're going to figure out what it can do, what it can't, and what it could mean for, well, you.
And you've pulled together some really interesting sources here. Everything from how ChatGPT could shake up the academic world to, well, the ethical questions it raises.
Quite a mix, yeah?
We've got Al Shader's 2022 research paper, which really dives into what ChatGPT can and can't do in academics. And then there's Atlas's 2023 guide. It's more focused on how ChatGPT can be used in, like, education and professional settings. And of course, we can't forget the ethical elephant in the room,
Oh, yeah.
plagiarism. Cotton and their team really dug into that one in their 2023 paper.
It's true. There are a lot of different angles here. I mean, on the one hand, you've got this tool that can summarize a complicated research paper for you in seconds, help you come up with new ideas. It can even give you feedback on your writing, almost like having a writing partner on call, 24/7.
It's wild. Imagine like feeding ChatGPT a draft of your thesis. It could help you see where the structure isn't working or even suggest like whole new sections you could add. But before everyone gets too excited, we should point out that Al Shutter is careful to say that ChatGPT can't actually do original research.
Right, and it can't like write a whole research paper from scratch. Not yet, anyway.
Not quite there yet.
And it's important to understand why. So ChatGPT, at its heart, uses something called natural language processing. Basically, it's been trained on this massive amount of text data, which allows it to understand and, well, generate text that sounds, human-like,
Okay.
but it's not actually thinking for itself, and it's not coming up with completely new ideas.
But more like a superpowered parrot than an actual independent researcher.
Yeah, exactly. It can mimic and combine things it's learned, but it can't truly understand or analyze information the way humans can.
Which is where the potential for things like plagiarism comes in.
Exactly, yeah.
But before we go down that rabbit hole,
Yeah.
what are some other ways ChatGPT can be helpful? I know Atlas in their guide talks about how it could change how we communicate.
It's true. Think about, like, writing professional emails that don't sound stiff and awkward, or creating presentations that are actually engaging. Heck, you can even use it to practice a new language.
It's like having a language tutor right there on your computer.
Right.
I've even heard it can help you write creative stuff like poems or scripts. Imagine, when you're stuck staring at a blank page, you could bounce ideas off of ChatGPT.
That's the idea. It could be really useful for that. But, and this is important, we got to remember that what ChatGPT produces is only as good as the information that it's been trained on. It doesn't have its own knowledge, and it doesn't have judgment.
So we can't just take everything it says as gospel. We still need to think critically about it,
Yeah,
double check its work,
absolutely.
and use our own judgment.
Exactly.
Okay, so back to the elephant in the room, plagiarism. Cotton and their team make a really good point about how tough it is to detect text that's been generated by ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's a real challenge.
Because, yeah, we've got AI detection tools, but they aren't foolproof. It feels like we're always playing catch up with the tech.
It's true, and that's exactly why we can't just focus on trying to catch people after the fact. We have to start thinking differently about how we assess learning. What skills are we really trying to measure, especially now in the age of AI, instead of just focusing on rote memorization or, spitting back facts, which, let's be honest, ChatGPT can do in its sleep.
Right.
We need to prioritize things like critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity.
Exactly. Those are much harder for AI to fake, at least for now.
Yeah, because it's not really about, like, fighting against technology, right? It's
Yeah.
about figuring out how we can use it responsibly. I mean, we don't just ban the internet because some people use it to spread misinformation.
Exactly. We figure out how to use it safely, how to think critically.
Right. And that's actually where Atlas's guide is really helpful. They've got some great advice on navigating this whole new world of AI tools.
Okay, so what's the first step?
Well, it all starts with being super clear in the instructions you give to ChatGPT. Basically, the more specific your prompt, the better the output.
So instead of saying, like, write me something about climate change, I should be saying something like, write a 500-word essay analyzing the effectiveness of different carbon reduction strategies.
Exactly, you got it. And it's not just about the length or even the topic. You can tell ChatGPT what kind of tone you want, what style you're going for. You can even specify who the audience is.
Wow.
It's all about treating ChatGPT like, I don't know, imagine a really powerful but maybe not so bright assistant.
Okay.
You really got to be specific to get what you actually want.
That makes sense. But even when you're super clear with your instructions, you can't just hit generate and call it a day, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Critically evaluating what ChatGPT spits out is key. Always double check it. Look for inconsistencies. Are there any biases? Did it get any facts wrong?
Okay, good point, because it's drawing on such a massive amount of data. There are bound to be some biases baked in there, right?
Exactly. We can't just assume it's giving us the absolute unbiased truth. We've got to use our judgment. Do your own research, too.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Is that what they say?
Right. And you know what? It gets even more interesting. Atlas mentions that you can actually train ChatGPT to do super specific things that you need.
Wait, really? What does that even mean, train ChatGPT?
So you basically feed it targeted information and examples to help it learn how to produce, specific kinds of outputs.
Uh-huh.
So let's say, for example, you need to summarize research articles for your colleagues, and you need them to be short and engaging. You can actually train ChatGPT on summaries that you've already written,
Oh, well.
and it'll start to pick up on your style, your approach.
So it's like having a personal assistant that learns what you like and what you need.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Not a little bit creepy, to be honest.
Yeah, I get it. It's totally understandable to feel a little bit of both, excited and maybe a little apprehensive. But that's exactly why these conversations that we're having are so important. The more we understand these AI tools, their strengths, their weaknesses,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to navigate, this whole new landscape.
So it's not really about replacing human skills then. It's more like enhancing them.
Yes.
Using AI to boost what we can already do.
Exactly. Freeing up our time and energy so we can focus on things that are more creative, more strategic.
Which kind of leads us to the big question, right? How is ChatGPT and all this AI stuff going to change education? What about the workforce? Are the robots going to take our jobs?
That's what everybody wants to know, right? And well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you this much. AI is here to stay.
It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not. And it's only going to become more and more integrated into, well, everything.
So maybe instead of worrying about, some robot uprising, we should be thinking, okay, how can we get ready for a future where AI is more like a partner, working with us, not against us?
Exactly. It's about evolving. We need to be asking ourselves, what skills are going to be essential in a world powered by AI? And how do we learn those skills? How do we teach them to our kids?
So what does that actually look like, though? What do we need to do?
Well, for starters, we've got to rethink education, right? It's not enough to just teach kids how to use technology. They need to know how it works,
Right.
what its limitations are, how to look at what it produces with a critical eye.
Knowing how to use a calculator doesn't mean you understand math.
Exactly. You've got to understand the underlying principles. And on top of that, we've got to double down on the things that make us human.
The things AI can't do.
Exactly. Creativity,
Yeah.
critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, ethical decision making. These are the things that are going to set us apart in a world where AI can automate so much of the routine stuff.
So it's not just about what we're teaching, but how, too. Maybe it's time to move away from just memorizing facts and taking standardized tests. Let's focus more on project-based learning, on collaborating. Let's really build those uniquely human skills.
You're spot on. We need to be fostering adaptability, curiosity, a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Because let's face it, technology isn't going to slow down anytime soon. The most valuable skill anyone can have is the ability to learn new things, to adapt.
So really, AI is kind of forcing us to think about some really big questions, huh? What does it mean to be human? What kind of future were we trying to build?
It really is a profound time. We've got this incredible chance to decide how AI fits into our lives, how we can use it to make progress, to innovate, heck, maybe even to make things better for everyone.
Yeah, that's a powerful thought. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm kind of left with this thought.
Right.
If AI learns from the information we feed it, then the future of AI really depends on the choices we make today. It's a big responsibility, no doubt, but it's also a pretty amazing opportunity. We could build a future where humans and AI can, thrive together.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And who knows, maybe someday we'll look back and see that this was the moment when we started to figure out what AI could really do. I mean, not just as this tool for efficiency or automation, but as a real partner. A partner in building something better.
Now, that would be something.